Alrighty, again, thanks to all of you that took to the OTR Essential Facebook page and posted your questions. I had to do a second Q&A video to get all of these questions answered. So again, I thank you. So let's get started here with part 2. Charlie Kelly asks, do you like having a girl sit on your face? Well, we just got right into the nuts of this, didn't we? Didn't we? You want an answer, don't you? Well, by God, you're getting a fucking answer. Look, you've got two types of dudes that like chicks in this world. The one that acknowledges that they eat puss, and the others that still eat puss anyway. Some point in time, fellas, we all know you got to do what you got to do. Especially if you want a little mouth love on your little mini part. So it's going to happen at some point in time. In that case, I would prefer to have it be done in a more comfortable position and advantageous position for me. Henceforth, as a result, I would prefer, actually, that a woman sit on my face. It's kind of one of those dominant things for them. And that way also, too, instead of having to go in all types of, like, different fucking positions where they're trying to sit there and squirm and everything else, and you're like, hold on, bitch. This will almost be done if you stop fucking moving. And that they're moved to their heart's content. It really ain't bothering you. You're just sitting there on your back, waiting for them to finally do it, and then they do, and then it's like, great, I didn't really expend any energy. Now you are 2.5 feet away from going from my mouth cavity to my little big schleggy. Therefore, I get them from here, and you go down here, and guess what? I'm still not having to put in any work. So hell yeah! That's the way to go, damn it. Let's see here. Tony Morris, how would you have booked Stone Cold and The Undertaker WrestleMania 2000 if they weren't injured? Number one, not have them both be hurt for that show. God knows that show desperately fucking needed them. I'm not sure if I would have done Austin Taker at WrestleMania 2000. And I really don't know if I would have. Just me. Larry Alexander, how was your Christmas and what did Summer get for Christmas? And what's your thoughts on CM Punk on Off the Record? My Christmas was very good, thank you. I had to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. However, got the next 3 days off, so no real complaints. Summer got a lot of treats and a new doggy bed. Panda and Snowcone, you didn't ask, but they got themselves a big tree to climb on. A ton of treats. They got themselves a bed as well. So they're all happy. Santa Claus is very good to them this year. I didn't watch CM Punk's appearance on Off the Record. So I really don't have much to comment on. From what I understand, though, did he say that Landsberg was a hypocrite? I thought I saw people posting about that. I'm not really sure. If he did, and I'm not saying CM Punk did because, again, I didn't listen to it. I don't really know. If he did, you know, well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. But other than that, I didn't listen to it. I didn't watch it, so I don't really know. I didn't pay any attention to it. Frankly, really don't care. Just telling you the truth. All right, let's see here. Dean Carroll, who do you consider the most exciting and most intense tag team and superstars today? Intense individuals would be definitely Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro. When I think of intensity, Roman Reigns, Ryback, there's plenty of guys that I think have that intensity to them. In terms of excitement, when I see them, you know, like getting that feeling of, oh, things are going to be good this segment. This isn't going to suck type of shit. Ambrose gives me that feeling. Frankly, Cesaro gives me that feeling. Sometimes Bray Wyatt gives me that feeling. Ryback gives me that feeling as well. Roman Reigns does not. Seth Rollins does not. Daniel Bryan sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. I mean, he definitely will now just because, you know, he's back. So you know there's going to be a segment that might not totally suck. Let's see here. Tag teams. Usos still excite me as a tag team. The Ascension's going to excite me as a tag team. Brandon Akins, is Backlash 2001 one of the most forgotten WWF pay-per-views? Probably. Probably. Owen Finch, have you ever been to any wrestling events? Yeah, a few over the years. Rodney Tussinger, do you think Randy Orton will be a surprise entrant and win the Royal Rumble? Why? So that way John Cena could win the belt from Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and Seth Rollins fails to cash in successfully. Therefore, as a result, the path is clear for Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 31. It would be the most awesome, spectacular main event of WrestleMania history. I don't see Randy Orton winning the Rumble, but don't think it hasn't been discussed as a possibility. All options are on the table for WWE right now. They've created this situation. Again, I'm going to emphasize, people, all options are on the table. Son Gushuaku, do you agree with WWE allowing Ryback to be himself on the mic? Is that just what the WWE needs to do with their characters? Having them have a story that helps us understand why they do what they do instead of random matches. Oh, I agree with the part of not just having them have random matches, giving these characters story, giving these characters purpose, putting them into meaningful storylines and feuds, trying to actually attempt to tell a story with the characters themselves and the business that they are involved with. I completely, totally agree with that. I'm not sure if I agree with having Ryback do that type of promo at that time, unless you are trying to go that extra level because you were preparing to have him win the Royal Rumble. If that's the case, then so be it. I can live with it. I don't want to see the big guy who's supposed to be about feed me more being all touchy-feely. You know, I don't want to see that at this point. I don't think that's the right moment for that. A better moment for that, frankly, would be if he went to WrestleMania, didn't win the belt that night, and came on Raw the next night and talked about it and shared his feelings like that. Then that's a little different. I just don't think that situation and the timing of it called for Ryback doing that type of promo. I just don't. I'm not saying the promo was bad. It was very good for what the WWE was attempting to accomplish. I'm just not sure what the decision-making of trying to accomplish that there with that character. Alfredo Regalado. Is CM Punk versus Kurt Angle a special attraction for a WrestleMania main event? No. I don't think it ever has been. I most certainly don't think it would be now, and I don't think it ever would be. No. If you told me Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle, it would be a different situation. But CM Punk? No, I don't think so. Aaron O'Brien, do you think Dean Ambrose is an appropriate candidate to win this year's Royal Rumble? I think he's an appropriate candidate. I don't think he's that guy, though, and I don't know that he's going to be that guy. I'm not sure how strongly they're going to consider him. But there's always that possibility of doing something with him versus Cena at Mania, with Cena having the title as possible. I'm not so sure the dynamics work with him versus Brock at Mania. The other option you could always have is maybe doing something where maybe Cena wins the belt, but Rollins cashes in successfully. Ambrose wins the Rumble. It's him and Reigns in the final two. Maybe it's a really shitty, wishy-washy type of finish, crap type thing. And then it would almost kind of work if Ambrose and Reigns were the last two and they agreed to get out at the same time so they both get their hands on Rollins. And then you have like a Shield triple threat title match main event at WrestleMania 31 that I'm sure a lot of you would jerk off to. And probably have good reason to jerk off to it. It would be all types of interesting, that's for damn sure. And you could go in a lot of different directions. You could have Rollins retain the belt there. You could have Ambrose win. You could have Reigns win. You do all types of possibilities there with that type of match. So that's another possibility of what they could do. It'd lead to a little more convolution between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania to get to that point. And they'd have to figure out how to get to that point, what would work best to get to that point. But I think it could work. So I think Ambrose is an appropriate candidate. I do. I'm just not sure the WWE is fully committed to going all the way on the lunatic fringe just yet. Alan Pesson, John Cena said in an interview he'll never go back to his heel thugonomics gimmick and explain why. What is your take on that? I didn't hear his take on that. His take on that is probably not what he said. I'm not sure what he said, but what he's thinking is two things. One, why the fuck would I change when I'm the top guy? When he hasn't been sold on a reason why to change. Who could blame him? Number two, going heel naturally, more often than not, the merchandise sales, which are a big portion of how these guys get paid in WWE, is going to decrease. So you're asking John Cena to take a big pay cut. If you incentivize John Cena by paying him more for a lesser spot to compensate also for that loss in merchandise sales by turning heel, then maybe that's a different story. But until you give that reason, there's no reason for John Cena to want to turn heel, no reason for John Cena to turn heel. So therefore, it just won't happen. I mean, I don't know if going back to the heel thugonomics gimmick is a good idea either. I think that's actually kind of stupid. If I was going to heel out Cena, I'm going to put him in a fucking suit. I'm going to do everything that I've never done with Cena. And doing heel thugonomics Cena has been done by John Cena, therefore making it stupid. The whole point of doing a character turn this severe with somebody like Cena, which does need to happen at some point in time, yes it does, would be to do something different with Cena. What type of fucking sense does it make for him to be this corny, vanilla, Wonder Bread babyface all of these years, then turn him heel, have all of these avenues and possibilities for what he could do, and then you just go right back to heel thugonomics Cena? You know, you could sit there with John Cena, put him in a suit. Instead of never give up, his thing is always give up and fight to live another day. You know, there's so many possibilities for what you could do with a heel John Cena that going back to an idea character from 10 plus years ago doesn't make any fucking sense either. In fact, that's more moronic in my opinion than having him stay the current crappy character that he is. AK Infinity, do you think there is a chance that the wrestling industry ever goes through another boom period? Not with the current idiotic leadership in the business and not with the delusions that they think everything seems to be okay. Until you acknowledge there is a problem, there just isn't going to be a problem according to them, and therefore it's not going to get any better, and that's the shame thing about it. James Thomas Jr., less deserving of the pushes they got. Jeff Jarrett or John Cena? Jeff Jarrett, and it ain't even fucking close. Not even close. This is so... Don't even get me started. Let's see here. Devin Burnham. In the Monday Night Wars Attitude Era time frame, which character change was your favorite? Sting, Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, or The Undertaker? I liked when Taker turned to a more sinister goth type of Taker as opposed to just being the dead man. Bret Hart's character change in '97 I've always enjoyed. I loved Crow Sting, but it's got to be Hogan for me just because he was everything here, and then he became everything that he wasn't over here and probably became more of who he really is over here. So over time, that became my favorite character change, honestly. All right, let's see. Victor Quintero, how big do you see Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Balor, whatever the fuck, and Hideo Itami getting when they eventually get on the main roster? I don't see it with Kenta. I really don't. And more so, I really don't see where WWE's going to go with this guy in a big way. Balor, Balor, whatever the fuck. Finn, I'll call him Finn. Fiend, whatever. There's a problem right there. You look at the name and you're not sure how to pronounce it. Yes, that's a problem. The type of entrances that I've seen him do, especially the one they did at NXT TakeOver Our Evolution, that was phenomenal shit. You know, if he did that at big-time matches, at big-time shows, it'd be a way for him to really stand out. I'm not that familiar with his work, frankly. And I don't know. Even if people tell me he's great on the mic, you know, people try to tell me Seth Rollins or Dolph Ziggler is great on the mic. And when I hear him on the mic, I hear anything other than greatness. At this point in time, I think because of his ability to work the stick and the fact that he would be somewhat different, I think it's got to be Kevin Owens. Out of the three, you know, to be fair, I'm a Steen fan. I think he's the one. I do. I'm trying to envision, too, who you would send him at. And you could send Owens at Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt and guys like that. And I think the dynamics are much easier to figure out and much better and easier to piece together than they are with a Balor or an Itami. I think Itami's a bit of a shrimp, and more so I think that's what the WWE is going to view him as, and they're going to be like, we already have too many of this type of guy. Just being honest with you guys. All right, so let's see here. One last question. Michael Vickan, thoughts on Jim Ross agreeing with Vinnie Mac about John Cena being the only one who grabbed the brass rings? Of course fucking JR would say some dumb shit like that. Company man, even when the company fired you, doesn't want anything to fucking do with you. Doesn't make any damn sense at all. Come on, JR. Have some damn self-respect.